Hey guys, happy Thursday. Every week just gets a little bit stranger, huh? Um, so today, a lot of us, most of us, I think everyone has officially stopped teaching. Um, if you're not, I'm curious how you're still going, but let us know. The world is crazy, it's scary, but we got to keep ourselves focused on other things, otherwise, we'll go crazy, right? So, I'm still teaching. I talked about this last week. I'm doing virtual classes. I think some of you are doing that, which is awesome. If you are not teaching at all and you're a little bit worried about, first of all, you probably miss it. I hope you miss it. And you might be a little bit worried about, what if this lasts 4 months and then you have to get back on the bike? Will you remember? Will you be nervous? I know when I get a few days off, which is a lot for me in a row, and then I get back on, I feel like it's been a long time, and it already, I feel a little rusty. So here are some ways that you can continue to improve as an instructor even though you're not teaching. So this can be, if you're quarantined, for example, but also it could be maybe your gym shuts down, or you lose your position as an instructor and you're in between jobs, or you're a new instructor and you haven't gotten your first job yet. So these are things that you can always continue to do to improve. First of all, and I say this all the time, and I do this with all my coaching clients, one of the biggest things that you can do to improve as an instructor while you're off on your own, not teaching, is to film yourself teaching. So get a little phone stand or set up your phone somewhere, or a computer, and film yourself teaching a class. Do everything. Don't just do the moves and the terrain, but do the cueing that you want to use. Do all of the hand movements, whatever it is, and then go back and watch yourself. I know it's extremely uncomfortable. Nobody enjoys doing it, but when you watch yourself teaching, you will learn more than anybody else could ever teach you, because you'll see it yourself. It's just those things that you didn't realize you were doing that will make you better. So that's one of the best things you can do while we're on this hiatus, is go film yourself teaching. See what you can learn from just watching your own cueing and your positioning. Maybe you'll notice your form is off a little bit. You'll learn a lot, I promise you. So try that. That'll keep you busy, and that way you can actually plan and teach an entire class. Even if you're not doing virtual classes, just plan an entire class as if you were teaching it to a group, and teach that, and then film yourself doing that, and see how you can improve. So that's one way, filming yourself. Another way we can continue to improve while we're kind of on this hiatus is sort through your music, right? So we all have a lot of stress around music. Here are a few things you can do. First of all, I use Spotify. If you don't, Apple Music, whatever it is, totally fine. Make some folders. So divide your music based on the way that you build your classes. So maybe you go by RPMs and you decide what the terrain's going to look like, and then you need a song at a certain beat or speed. Sort it by RPMs. Maybe you don't teach to the music. I know I don't address that often, but maybe you don't. So you want to divide your music by the feel, the emotion behind the song. So a slow, heavy hill type song, or a speedy, upbeat, endurance run, whatever it is. However you build your classes, that's how you want to sort your music. Hey, Megan. So go back through all your music that you've used in past classes, and don't overwhelm yourself with this. Start with maybe the last 5 classes and dig through those and sort the music you've already used, because it's much easier to go back in, remember what you did with that song during a class, and then just throw it in that folder. So that way you'll start with a base, you'll start with a library, and then going forward, you can build that library. Now, given we might have a lot of time on our hands, maybe you start going through new releases, or release radar on Spotify, or whatever it is on Apple, and then you sort some of those, so when you go to build playlists in a few months, you already have some new music in there to use. So that's something you can do with Spotify or Apple, whatever you use. The other thing you could do, which I love, I've done recently, I've gone back through, well, now I do it as I go with my playlist, but I found all my favorite songs to teach to, which doesn't necessarily mean favorite song to listen to. For example, I love Cardi B's I Like It. It's just a fun song. Everyone gets excited when that comes on. And I sort my favorites. So I go by RPM, so I sort favorite And then I have under that playlist or that folder, I have a bunch of different RPM ranges, but it's all my favorite songs. So when I'm on a day where I'm struggling to build a playlist, I go into those. I get pumped because I love all those songs, and I pick one of those to throw into my playlist so that I'm a little more excited about the playlist and I just know the song really well. So that's an option too. So a lot of stuff you can do with your Spotify right now or your Apple or whatever. Sorting is a beautiful thing. It takes a lot of time, but it saves you a lot of time later. So it's definitely worth it. If you have questions about sorting music or any of that, happy to answer them. Just drop them in the comments. Curious how you guys sort your music, or if you do. You can see, by the way, you can see my Spotify. All my playlists are open. I don't show my my sorting because I use that in some of my paid products, so it doesn't seem fair to share that, but I'm happy to talk about how I break things down. What else can we do? Oh, so not only going through classes and picking old songs that you like, but picking old drills that you like and making a key or a, I don't know, library of drills that you like to use. So what I've realized over the years is that there's a million different names for the same thing. And you can come up with your own. There's a lot of things a lot of verbiage that I use that isn't, spinning approved or whatever else, Schwinn approved. You can create your own drills, even if it's called something else to someone else. I've seen a lot of, in the other indoor cycling groups, someone will post, can you explain what this drill means? And the list of comments has like 18 different descriptions that are totally different from each other. And that's totally fine. It is what you describe it to your riders as. They don't really care what it's called. They care what you're doing. So get creative. Start to build a drills playlist. You can, or a drills library. You can dig into old stuff and see what you did. Just whatever floats your boat, whatever kind of drills you really enjoy doing, just make a library so that, again, you can plug and play. You can go back into that library and pull from that to build your playlist later. Just having stuff like this, little libraries for our music, for our drills, for our choreography, whatever it is, will save you time later that will help you a lot when you're struggling to kind of restart teaching after a few months off. So we got filming yourself, going through your music and organizing. Guys, if you're just hopping on, I would go back and listen. I'm getting pretty detailed as to how to do all this stuff and what to do. So maybe if you're curious, go back and listen. Spotify, Apple playlist organization, drill libraries, creating your own. I guess that's kind of it. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can do. I would say the other thing you can do, well, first of all, come in here. We're still going to be sharing music. We're still going to be sharing instructor-related things. So if you need a little inspiration, always come to the crew. Let me know if there's specific things you want to work on. We'll talk about it in her happy hour, because right now I don't have much inspiration since I'm not teaching to people. So hop on in here, leave me something, or post it in the comments on this video. I'll come back and check. But there's always stuff we can work on. Right? So think about the things that you really want to do better at. Maybe it's your cueing, right? Maybe we talk about that. You guys know I have a list of free cues on the website. I actually might create a round 2 of that if you guys want one. I think it's 20 free cues. I could do another 20. Let me know if that'd be helpful, and if it is, if you want like motivational cueing or if you want form-related cueing, or a little both. If anything else would be helpful, guys, I'm happy to do it. I got time on my hands. I want to help you. I want to keep you inspired, and I want to keep you in a good place, because I know we're all struggling a little bit with that. So let me know what I can do, talking about on her happy hour or anything else, and hang in there. We'll get through this, okay? I'll talk to you guys soon.